A coalition succeeds best when members are active and enthusiastic. Get people excited about your goals and keep supporters and members engaged with a compelling way to show your progress. A timeline that visually shows progress toward goals, as well as the capacity built with each step. These timelines are often used in campaigns. A campaign timeline is more than a milestone tracker. It not only measures out the most important moments of the project from start to finish, it also builds momentum, effectiveness, and focus for everyone over time. Your coalition initiative, like traditional campaigns, has a clear starting point and a final measurable aim, or what we call a mountaintop goal, established by a shared motivating vision. When your initiative is complete, it should be clear whether or not you achieved your mountaintop goal. Now, let's talk about the real strength of using a campaign timeline. When we chart out a campaign, we measure progress with time and effort. Instead of just ticking off milestones along a linear timeline, we also show how the coalition builds capacity as it works toward each individual goal. Here are the main components of the timeline: a strong foundation, the kickoff, peak goals, time to rest and reflect, and the mountaintop goal. Let's start with your foundation. This is the groundwork you do to get the effort going, like building a shared motivating vision, having one-to-one meetings, and building a leadership team. Next, there's the kickoff event, where you officially launch the project publicly, declare your motivating vision, create a sense of urgency, and issue calls to action. Then come the peak goals. These achievements aren't just milestones. They are measurable goals that develop additional capacity to meet the next peak. Here, we generate strategic momentum by gathering more and more resources as we go. Now, how do we meet each peak goal? Tactics. Tactics are the specific activities we use to meet each peak goal. Think of tactics as the small, actionable steps you take to reach each goal. When each peak goal is reached, take a moment to celebrate, reflect on what worked, and identify what's needed to reach the next one. Each peak goal is designed to get you closer to the mountaintop goal, as well as build capacity to reach the next peak, until your coalition makes it all the way to the mountaintop goal. Once you've reached your mountaintop goal, have a big final celebration. Then you can start all over with renewed enthusiasm and create a new timeline to tackle your next mountaintop goal. There you go. Those are the basics of the campaign timeline. Now, let's look at a specific example of how a community coalition would use this. Say you formed a community coalition with the goal to reduce 30-day readmissions in the next 2 years. Determine your mountaintop goal and then work your way backward. Make sure it's measurable. Let's say your coalition decides the mountaintop goal will be to reduce the number of 30-day readmissions in the county by 5% in the next 2 years. First, you'll need to build a strong foundation for your initiative. This is where you'll begin to identify and gather the people and resources you'll need. When creating a solid foundation, ask questions like, who can help us lead this effort? Who do we need to recruit? Who else cares about this issue? Ask, how many and what type of stakeholders do we need to reach? How can we connect with them? Map out the hospitals, nursing facilities, home health agencies, and other stakeholder organizations in your county. List the people in those organizations that you know. Mark those who share your interest in reducing readmissions and whom you might ask to help you lead this initiative. Schedule one-to-one meetings with people you may want to help you lead. Identify the resources you need. Focus on resources that will help you grow your capacity to meet the goal, such as particular people, commitments, space to meet, and relationships with influencers. Now that your foundation is in place, it's time to plan your kickoff. Hold a community meeting to announce your goals, share your stories of why you care, and why your motivating vision is important. Show what action everyone can take in order to help achieve the mountaintop goal. Share the start and end dates of your timeline. Build momentum and community support for the initiative. Next, determine the interim or peak goals that show your progress toward the mountaintop goal. These peak goals help to show the capacity you've built. In determining your peak goals, consider these 3 guidelines. A. Each peak goal should be clear and measurable. You should be able to see right away if you've met the aim. B. Each peak should build capacity toward meeting your mountaintop goal. C. Each peak shows coalition and individual growth. The initiative is spreading and leadership is being developed. Now let's take a closer look. Your peak goals might look something like this. For peak 1, let's say you want to recruit 80% of hospitals, 50% of nursing facilities, and 30% of home health agencies by month 3. Include other goals you'd like to reach by month 3. Peak 2 goals could look like this. By month 6, recruit 100% of the hospitals, nursing facilities, and home health agencies. Begin testing new processes to reduce 30-day readmissions. Peak 3. By month 9, implement new processes in all recruited facilities. Schedule monthly monitoring meetings. Peak 4. Evaluate new processes and make adjustments. Re-engage stakeholders as necessary. Recruit new stakeholders. In between each peak goal, take time to celebrate, reflect, and make adjustments as needed. Celebrate your achievements. Reflect on what led to success or failure. Adjust your next peak goal and make improvements to your tactics based on what you've learned. Remember that tactics are the small steps or actions you take to meet the next peak goal. Some examples of tactics are one-to-one meetings, recruiting new coalition members, coalition meetings, implementing improved processes in your facilities, and training or education. All of these components work together to build capacity over time, resulting in your coalition achieving the mountaintop goal. The campaign timeline is a great tool to help you set specific measurable goals, easily monitor progress, and showcase your coalition's achievements. Good luck!